Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I was kind of dreading getting to this movie because it is by far the most controversial of the series. Of course, with Jurassic World being the big hit that it was, making over $1 billion, pleasing a lot of fans, including myself, where even though I had my issues with it, I thought it was the best Jurassic Park movie we'd seen since the original. So no doubt in my mind was I extremely pumped to see how they would continue the world, what they would expand further with it. The previous director, Colin Trevorrow, left, bringing in J.A. Bayona, which I don't think was a mistake because he makes Fallen Kingdom one of the most beautifully shot Jurassic Park movies ever made, but the story they decide to tell always has me mixed. I'm not going to be someone who just flat out hates this movie entirely because I consider Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom to kind of be the Amazing Spider-Man 2 of the Jurassic Park franchise. It's an entry in the series that has a lot of great high moments with interesting concepts, some well executed, but also so many low points that distract from some of the better things involved with this movie, and it's up to the viewer to decide what outweighs for them, the high points or the low points. When it came to Amazing Spider-Man 2, I let the high points of that movie stand out and make it a film I really like. But with Fallen Kingdom, some of the low points of this movie just make it hard to completely enjoy the film. So please, as we go through this, let me know down below, where do you stand on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Are you someone that leans on the high points, thinks this was a great idea for a Jurassic Park movie, or were you someone who was really disappointed the day this one came out? Either way, let's go ahead and hit play with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So with the opening of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, they go back to the Jurassic Park formula and give us an opening kill sequence. That was something I kind of wish was included in Jurassic World, but understand why they didn't. Here though, it really showed why it's good to have directors coming in and out of the Jurassic Park franchise, because you just get a refreshing point of view on these dinosaurs. This entire opening sequence, I'm gonna say, is probably the best opening kill of the entire series. The way the director J.A. Bayona here uses light to his advantage to kind of show off the T-Rex in the background, building up the tension that something terrible is about to happen, also bringing back the mosasaur, and even the CGI here still looking really good. This was a solid opening, and I remember sitting in the theater thinking, oh, this is about to be the best Jurassic Park movie ever, because who wouldn't think that from this title card sequence? From there, the movie decides to give us an update on what's been happening in the world ever since the park fell, and it's pretty much what we would expect. People suing the park, it going bankrupt, them never being able to open, but out of nowhere, we're told there's actually a volcano on the island that is soon going to erupt and kill all the dinosaurs on the island. I remember thinking, so the park was always destined to get destroyed then, because even if the events of Jurassic World never happened, doesn't that mean the volcano would eventually erupt, destroying the entire park and starting from scratch? But whatever, we gotta let it slide because it's what drives the plot forward, which was an interesting take that I think could have been executed better. Because one of the things I like about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is this moral dilemma they have about whether should we save the dinosaurs, should we keep them alive, or do we just let nature take its course and destroy them? It's an amazing ethical dilemma that makes you think about it. What side would you land on? I bet if you were someone at that park getting attacked by dinosaurs, you'd say, let them die. But people like Claire and her animal rights group believe they should save these creatures. And here's where we're introduced to two new characters in the series, one I like and one I don't like so much. Zay's character came off strong to me and like she had a real purpose throughout the movie, while Justice Smith's character is just an annoyance.
Need some bug spray? Bug spray?
It was always rumored that this was actually supposed to be Jake Johnson's role, but for some reason he couldn't be part of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, so they got this actor instead. I know this guy's a good actor because I thought he did a great job in Detective Pikachu, but throughout the film where he just constantly has the same opened eyes, scared, not knowing what I'm doing look, it just wears thin pretty fast. But we see Claire is called in to the Lockwood estate, one of the people who's financially responsible for Jurassic Park, and an old colleague of John Hammond. They bring her in for a secret mission to try and rescue all the dinosaurs before they get hit with the volcano. We're also informed that they're very interested in rescuing Blue as she's the last of her kind, showing real intelligence and obedience. This is what forces Claire to meet back up with Owen Grady, who they have parted ways since the last movie. And you know what? Everything so far is working smoothly. They have a great setup and reasoning for wanting to return to the island, a good cause for Claire and Owen to team back up, which is why I'll say for the first hour of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, it plays like a really good Jurassic Park movie. I even really love these flashback scenes involving Owen Grady training baby Blue. I feel it adds so much to their relationship and makes a lot of sense why Owen would want to go and save her. Even the sequences of when they finally arrive on the actual island are also done spectacular. J.A Bayona has a really good eye for these action sequences involving the dinosaurs. But as we'll come to find out, our crew was actually tricked to come onto the island, planning to leave them there for dead and just wanting to get the dinosaurs for a different reason than to save them. I also thought in concept this was a really good idea of a paralyzed Owen Grady trying to regain muscle movement before the lava touches him, but it's just done in such a comedic way that it comes off goofy, and it makes me kind of lose all the suspense of this moment. But not the gyrosphere scene. That right there is suspense filled. You feel the fear and tension of these people drowning in a hamster ball while Chris Pratt is desperately trying to find a way to get them out. But coming up here is where Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom gets to its highest point and does something that makes everyone cry. We talk about all the time in the Jurassic Park franchise how hard it is to regain that magic and awe with the dinosaurs, that we don't really ever feel that emotion with them anymore. But this has got to be the closest thing to feeling that emotion, because seeing this dinosaur fall victim to the lava, basically saying the island is dead, everyone on here is gone, it brought me to tears the first time I saw it. This was such a beautifully directed scene. These are the highs I'm talking about that some people are willing to overlook the flaws of Fallen Kingdom, and it's why I'll never call this movie utter trash in the franchise, because it has some really great moments. But immediately after that beautiful sequence is where the movie just takes a real big slump, and it becomes almost a completely different movie. I respect them wanting to take the risk of this and trying to do something different while still giving us a little bit of old Jurassic Park at the beginning of this movie, but the villain for this film, Mills, who is Lockwood's financial advisor and in charge of keeping his money and trying to produce more, is probably the worst villain in the entire Jurassic Park franchise, because he's given very little motivation, backstory, or explanation to why he's so hell-bent on wanting to betray the person he's been working for years. We never get an idea that he did him wrong or that there was some bad blood. It was literally just, I'm evil for the sake of being evil. Still, this is where the movie starts to let us know a little bit more about the child in this film, Maisie, and surprise, surprise, I actually like the story involved with Maisie. Rewatching the film now, since I actually hadn't seen it since it was released in theaters, because I didn't really have an interest to, I love all the subtle hints the movie was trying to throw at you that she was a genetically made clone. The way J.A Bayona films her like she's almost a dinosaur, learning, adapting, is so creative and smart. With her backstory, we find out that Lockwood, the partner of Hammond, way back when, they had a disagreement on how to use the cloning technology. Hammond wanted to use it to create dinosaurs that are no longer around and build a theme park, while Lockwood was interested on doing that with humans, specifically his daughter, who died in a car crash and had the technology to resurrect her. That's a really great moral dilemma for the Jurassic Park franchise, and something I was actually super excited to see them explore more, but it never really does, other than just bringing up whether this was an okay or a wrong thing to do. I only really have one problem with Maisie's character, but I'll mention that towards the end of the movie. So now we're finally over the halfway point of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The film has taken a very different direction. The financial advisor Mills has now killed off Lockwood, which kind of defeats the purpose of working for him and running his business. Still, he's gonna hold an auctioned event where he sells dinosaurs to the rich for weaponizing reasons, bringing us to the big bad dinosaur of this movie, the Endoraptor. And this to me was one of the fails and disappointments for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We don't really get to meet the Endoraptor, what is basically a new version of the Indominus Rex, but in Velociraptor form, until an hour and 25 minutes of the movie. Every other big bad dinosaur of Jurassic Park was introduced much earlier and is a threat throughout the entire movie. And it's because of how little screen time the Endoraptor gets, it just doesn't have enough time to shine or become a real big staple for the movie. Because I think in concept, the Endoraptor is cool. I like the design of it, the black and yellow. Again, it's supposed to be super intelligent, but the execution to me is all botched because how they're trying to explain the weaponization of this dinosaur.
First, The laser sets the target. Once locked on, the acoustic signal triggers the attack.
So you create this multi-million dinosaur, and the way you have to use it is by holding a gun with a laser pointer and then pushing a button that releases a sonic sound letting it know to attack. You already have a gun with a laser pointer pointed at your enemy. Why don't you just fire the bullet? Also, what if it's a target that isn't in laser pointing distance? That would make the dinosaur useless because then it doesn't even know where to go. And this was the ultimate nail in the coffin of, like, Jurassic World. You should have never introduced the idea of weaponizing dinosaurs because even you don't know how to handle that subplot. I do want to praise Fallen Kingdom though for doing something different here and giving us a unique setting with this dinosaur, because once the Indoraptor finally escapes and is let out on the loose, it basically turns into like this haunted house sequence. Because J.A Bayona does a good job creating atmosphere and tension, the Indoraptors felt like a real threat and you're scared for this thing to go after you. But again, you only get 30 minutes of this 2-hour film with it. It's not enough time to fall in love with it and think of it as an iconic big bad dinosaur, at least in my opinion. But it isn't until the Indoraptor is dead and gone where it becomes very clear what was the entire purpose of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We're hit with the moral dilemma that the remaining dinosaurs that are alive are about to die thanks to toxic fumes. And the crew there has the choice to push the button and let them loose, giving them life, but also risking the lives of everyone who might encounter these dinosaurs now free. In the end, our heroes choose not to do it and let the dinosaurs die, but Maisie, being a clone and sympathizing with the dinosaurs,
they're alive, like me,
decide to let them loose, basically being responsible for the deaths of many people to come. An idea that I understand on paper sounds good and makes sense because Macy sympathizes with these dinosaurs as something that weren't supposed to be alive, but now that they are, they should remain alive. It's just the execution that doesn't feel earned just yet. But really, it just let me know the whole point of Fallen Kingdom was to be a setup movie for what you really wanted to do in Jurassic World Dominion. Everything about this movie is just leading up to this scene so that they can make the sequel and then have a world where dinosaurs are everywhere. That seems then like that was the entire purpose of this series, and I think because of that, Fallen Kingdom now hinges on Jurassic World Dominion being a really good movie. Because to me, if Dominion ends up being very disappointing or people don't like it, the whole point and setup of what they were trying to do in Fallen Kingdom was all kind of done for nothing. This film only exists to find a reason to have the dinosaurs free everywhere so they can do the third movie, and that just feels a little disappointing.
We've entered a new era. Welcome to Jurassic World
Dominion.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, like once the movie ended and knowing that's where they were headed for the third movie, I was pumped. That's an awesome, unique idea. Dinosaurs are now everywhere, and the next film we're gonna see that actually happen. I just hope they execute it, and I'm gonna find out in a few hours, because I'm headed to see Dominion today. So in the end, I think Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom had some really great moments, nice ideas, but the execution just didn't work all the way. It's a shame because it's the most beautifully shot film, has some really great tense moments, but ultimately it's a filler film meant as setup for the next movie, instead of really trying to be its own thing, stand out, and tell its own story. So I throw it off to you guys. Where do you fall on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Do you like this movie? Do you not? Really curious to hear what you guys think, and if you're someone who's watched all these Jurassic World review videos, I love you. You're the real MVP. Always love doing these videos for you guys. But as always, my name is Chris. Take care.